What most people don't actually do is have a system and process for how to visualize and daydream. So what does that actually mean? As I look here on my big ass calendar in front of me, one of my daily vitamins. So if I look at my perfect day and there's 10 things that I could do in any day, if I take one of those vitamins, boom, it's great. I could take all 10 or one of them, but it's all things that in my perfect day are there. So creating an idea and visualizing is one of them. And I actually learned this when I did the 75 Hard Mental Toughness program and the overall Live Hard program. And one of the things was visualize for 10 minutes a day. So I put it on my schedule as if it's a checkbox on my get-to-do list. So now there was a process for us. You say, well, where in the world am I going to find time to do this? Well, maybe I'm now going out for a walk, and when I'm walking, instead of listening to a podcast, I'm sitting there with my eyes open and I'm looking around at the nature and I'm hearing sounds, and I go ahead and do that. Another thing that's part of my process, and I learned this from Ed Milet, he calls this possibility projecting. Every Sunday, as part of my routine to look forward, I possibility project in my life, in my business, in my imagination. So I sit there, and similar to journaling or morning pages, there are no rules whatsoever. I just go there and the prompt just says, my life, my business, my imagination. So what this is another drip. So I've got the Sunday drip and I've got the daily drip. And now I'm part of that frequency where, all right, well, I'm going to be putting my son to bed. So I'm just sitting there and hoping he goes to sleep. So what am I doing? Boom, I'm sitting there thinking about, all right, let me work on my vision right now, because now there's an opportunity. I don't have enough time is an excuse a lot of people create, but we always have time. But if something is important enough, you will always create time to make it happen. Therefore, let's start to use our vision a little bit more and say, you know what? Robin Travis said imagination is important and it's fun and it helps me accomplish my dreams. Maybe I should find a way to create a system or a process to allow me to live in that, even just a little bit at a time. And the last thing, Travis, I'm going to add, one book that I really liked about this was James Altucher's Choose Yourself.
Yeah.
And what he talks about is not just writing like one idea a day. I believe he says write 10 or 20 ideas a day, because what I learned at Second City in the humor writing for the Onion course is that you have a 90% success rate of bad ideas to good ideas. So let's just start getting that volume out there so that one or two pieces of gold can get unearthed.
Absolutely. I don't think people give themselves enough chance to be, the writing process starts with a bad first draft. And most people won't allow themselves to get to that bad first draft. So like throwing out ideas and documenting everything, I call it an idea orphanage, right? I have more ideas than I will ever be able to execute in my life, which is why I share so many business ideas on my social media accounts, because there's no way I'm going to be able to do them, and just keeping them away from everyone else doesn't do them any good. Hopefully somebody can take it and actually apply it and build themselves something, right? So documenting your ideas is so important. There are no bad ideas in brainstorming. This is a rule, okay? So, going back to unpack a few things you said, I call bullshit on everybody who says they don't have time. Time is like money, and you choose where you spend it, right? So if you really say you don't have time, the question that I have is, then show me your 24-hour schedule, because I guarantee you that I can find time in there to do the thing that you want to do. And then as far as visualization goes, I think visualization is one of the most incredible superpowers that people have that they never use. So when I was 17 and in a punk rock band, I used to go to bed at night and I would visualize myself on a very specific, stage in Chicago, a venue called the Metro. It was like the Mecca for local bands kind of going big. And I would visualize the crowd. I would visualize coming out onto the stage. I would visualize, rocking out. And I'll tell you what, it wasn't very long until I actually experienced that visualization. And, lots of people do this. I think it was Michael Phelps would visualize swimming. And one time he had a goggle malfunction, right, where the water started pouring in and he couldn't see. And all he did was snapped into his visualization, because he already knew what to do, because he had done it so many times in his head, and he still won the race. So my challenge to everybody listening or watching this right now is, part of the visualization process is things that you want to manifest or things that you want to achieve. But I'll put that one inch further. Why don't you start visualizing who you want to be in 5 years and start acting like that now? Okay. So for instance, I don't act like Travis today. I act like Travis in 5 years. What is Travis in 5 years who's already accomplished these things doing? Well, he's creating systems so that he has more free time, so that he can write keynote speeches and stand on stages, right? So that he can be a prolific author and do all these things. So acting as if you already are where you want to be is going to get you there so much more faster. And part of that is realization. Part of that is visualization. And then part of it is really just looking at your time and saying like, okay, so many people tell me they don't have time, but they could tell me everything that happened in the latest hit series TV show. Well, right there, you're trading your time for consumption. Right? You're trading time for something that doesn't serve your goal. So don't bullshit us and tell us that you don't have time. Wake up an hour earlier, stay up an hour later. It's how you decide to create your own destiny. It's not about not having time because we all have the same. You can't buy it. You can't make it. We all have the same. So I think it's a bunk excuse to say, I don't have time. And the last question I'll just ask people is, well, how bad do you want it? Because if I want something bad enough, I'll stay up all night to work on it.